Hi, I'm Karla Eckhart. I'm the laboratory manager at Barnes St. Peter's Hospital in St. Peter's, Missouri. I would love to have you come and take a look at our community hospital. We are a small lab, but we do medium-sized lab work as far as the numbers of tests and specimens we use throughout the year. I would have to say the thing I like most about working in a community hospital or a hospital that's outside of the urban area is the fact that I see my healthcare and I give healthcare in the same environment. And you get to know people very, very well. And it does feel like a sense of community that you belong in the area that you're living and in the hospital itself. I've seen this so many times in my career. I will interview specialists to come to a community hospital after they've been in a specialist area. And what I find is that they have just don't have either the registrations, so they've only taken maybe the ASCP for that specific area. And I need them to be able to do all four of the areas in my lab, which is a core lab and blood bank. And they can only work in chemistry, which is not enough flexibility because I may need them to work with either one other person or even alone at some point, and they can't cover the other areas of the lab. I think that coming out of school and getting your generalist under your belt is the best foundation for your future, because one, you use all the knowledge or most of the knowledge right away. And I believe that a generalist is the best qualities to start your foundation. And if you make that rock hard foundation, then you can move up and then specialize in areas and you have that to stand on. Even happened this week where a patient, we had to get some blood from them and they could not ambulate and come to the hospital in a time that the doctor needed. And the doctor was really concerned about this patient. And so we actually went to the patient's home, which wasn't far from the hospital. That's another benefit of working in a community non-urban hospital is you have a little more flexibility on some of these type of situations, and you can take more liberties that really impact the patient, but also make you feel like you've done something really cool. So the phlebotomist went to the patient's home, took everything they needed, make sure they were safe, the patient was safe, wore all their PPE, collected the specimen, and the doctor, when he got the results about an hour later, could not have been more satisfied with knowing that he could go to sleep that night, that the patient was okay. The patient was relieved because they knew they were okay, and the phlebotomist just glowed. And then as far as a technologist, I think the technologists really, really help. And where they get their buckets filled, so to speak, is when they work with traumas or they work with patients that are bleeding in their work in their blood bank. I hear so many stories about where they run the blood down to the ER, they'll run the blood down to the OR because they know that they're short staffed or they need the blood sooner and they don't want to wait. So they take it upon themselves to just take off and run and go down there and give it to them and do the everything at the bedside versus the nurse or the doctor coming to us. And I really feel like that's where they are seen as the part of the healthcare team. You can sit and ask any technologist and they have at least one blood bank story that they can share where they went above and beyond and they know they saved a person's life. It's what makes us do what we do. I can only tell you from my perspective, and I'm about 30 years into my career. I see BJC as a chance to have a career and never really find something that you feel like you're stuck. You can come in as a generalist in any of the community type hospitals. You can go to your mid-size hospitals, Christian, Mobap, Parkland. You can Belleville. Sorry, I almost forgot Belleville. You can transfer amongst the others. We work very closely together. We are basically one team. We know when other positions are open. We know when people are looking for leaders. We know when they're looking for a section supervisor, and we can make suggestions. I've done that several times in the last couple of years where I had someone that I knew was trying to make it to a section supervisor. I was grooming them. I didn't have that position, but I knew they had it at somewhere else, and I recommended them for the position. And it's just how we work. The best thing you can do is just stay as calm as you can, but show enthusiasm. I want to know what you stand for. I want to know what your values are. We're going to try and hook up those values with BJC values. A 5-year med tech that did not want to be a supervisor, but she wanted to grow in the organization. So she went back to school with the help of the build program and obtained her master's in informatics, which is something that they utilize. They can now then move on into other LIS or IS positions. As soon as she graduated with her master's, she got an opportunity from Children's, and she now works at Children's. She's still there as a network IS person, specialist, and she works with the nursing, and so I think she's in the surgery division. So she's outside of the lab, but she's still using her lab expertise to be a basis for her next level. I have many that have gone back. I have one that's gone back and gotten his 4-year degree, and now he wants to go get an informatics degree. I have 2 that have gotten their MBAs through BJC. I have one that got their RN, and unfortunately I lost her to the floor, but she's still with BJC. I'm not originally from here, so this is a great question to ask me. I moved here 20 years ago, and I have been extremely happy living here. And I originally was from Ohio, and I moved around the nation, several states. And I found that that St. Louis gets you, it's the center of everything, and it's also easy to get to other places from here. It's a wonderful way. Airport is very, very easy to get to. It's close by. It's culturally active. There's concerts that come here, high named concerts that come here. We have great sports teams if you're into sports. If you like to do outdoor activities, hiking, things like that, there's all kinds of stuff to do within the area. You don't have to leave the region at all. Or if you want to drive maybe an hour or 2, you can even get to better if you want to go to more of the Lake of the Ozarks, or if you want to go to Mark Twain Lake or things like that. They're within a 2-hour drive. I've seen that people can do it if you just believe in yourself and you voice that you want to. I think sometimes as med techs and as scientists, we often believe our work speaks for ourselves, and it does. Don't get me wrong. You're being seen regardless. But one of the things that I've learned is you also have to say that you want something, and you don't say it in a way of but like I said, being boastful or full of yourself. It's more or less letting your managers know and your leaders know, hey, I'm interested in that, and a lot of times they will help you, guide you into that, what the next step for that might be.